Hello, good morning. It is morning where I'm at. This is my first video of 2024. I am facing the sun, so at some point I might put my sunglasses on if it gets a little too bright. But I just wanted to say hello. I hope you are all doing well, having a good year so far. I have some notes here. I did a vote on my Instagram page because I haven't done a video in a while. I had you guys vote and I asked what topic you wanted channeled, what you wanted a video about. There were a couple different options, but majority voted for a video on an energy read of current energies. So I wasn't planning on making a video. I'm definitely not dressed in my normal. I have some nice outfits that I like to wear for like videos and circles and when I do sessions, but it just felt really natural and raw to just be out in nature, just wearing what I'm already wearing and filming this video. And this is one of my favorite backdrops that I've ever filmed a video. How perfect. We have tree medicine in the back, ancestral wisdom, wisdom of the land, just giving acknowledgement right now to the land that I'm on, for the space that's being held so that I can give this video to you and film this video. So thank you to Mother Gaia, to the land, to the elements, to the trees. Okay, we're gonna get started. I have some notes here. I basically opened my channel. For those of you, if this is your first time watching me, my name is Sarah. I am a intuitive energy healer as well as a holistic nutritionist. And I do energy work on people, energy healings, energy circles. I film videos when I can. And there's a big spiritual part of what I do and what I offer to the community. So welcome, thank you for being here, and welcome back if you have been subscribed to me for a long time. I've got my coffee, I've got my notes. I'm so relaxed. But let's get into it. I opened my channel. I always set the intention for the highest good. For everybody that is going to be watching these videos, what is in the highest good? What do we need to know right now? And the first thing that came through, you'll see me look down a lot at my notes. The first thing that came through is energetic whiplash. So there's a lot of high highs and low lows. So this is leftover residue. If this is resonating with you in terms of mood, in terms of energy levels, just in terms of overall frequency, you might be having some days where you're really feeling like a go-getter and you're going to get all these accomplishments done, and you're checking off things on your task or your to-do list, and there might be other days where you just crash or you have no mood, you're feeling really low, feeling really lethargic, and maybe some self-doubt stuff is creeping in for you. Just different things coming up from you. So in a span of a week, 7 days, you could have a lot of different, just feeling different things on the spectrum of energy, from a spiritual energy point of view. So high highs, lows lows. So Spirit says that this is leftover residue. I am switching to my sunglasses now. It's a little too bright for me. Okay, so Spirit says that this is leftover residue from the solar eclipse that we just had a couple weeks ago in terms of balance. So our mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical aspects are being balanced out for all of us right now, which is why we are experiencing those high highs and those low lows. And it is very much like an energetic whiplash. But yeah, so things are just being stabilized or leveled out for us right now. That's what that is. So there's really a need to just anchor in, ground as always, and just allow whatever is coming up for you. Just allow, just witness, allow it to come up and accept. So accepting and allowing that you feel frustrated or anxious or tired or lethargic. Just having an acceptance piece energetically gives this frequency somewhere to go so it can move out of the field, so we can restore balance in the field for that mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. So also another message is the releasing of cords or attachments that are still tethered to the field. So that's why certain things might be coming up for you over and over and over again. And these could even be things from the past. These could be things from like 2-3 years ago. I feel like what's coming through for a lot of us is just stuff that maybe we dealt with, or personalities or energies that we dealt with throughout 2020 and those years of the pandemic. Maybe we are not even in contact with these energies anymore, or we're not even in that place physically. But if stuff's still coming up for you, you find you're still ruminating on stuff, or things are just like your mind is just sort of on a loop, this is a clue from Spirit to just continue to release this over and over and over again, because I also feel like this is just an energetic imprint or residue of the past. And whenever something is on a loop, or it's continuously coming up for us, no matter how many cords that we've cut or how much, like, there could always just be different, there's always different layers or levels of healing. It's always multi-dimensional. So we just want to bear witness to this. Important not to bring in any frequencies, or try not to bring in any frequencies of self-doubt. It's interesting that I said self-doubt. Self-doubt. I meant, like, what I meant to say, that's weird that came in. Okay. I meant to say any energies of like self-criticism. That's what I meant to say, but self-doubt came out. So I feel like that's always important when I'm doing these videos. If there is a slip of the tongue or something, I mean to say something else comes up. So we're gonna go with that. If there's any self-doubt, if you find that you're doubting yourself, you're doubting your journey or your path, or the amount of work that you have done on yourself or self-work, but your mind still keeps coming back to this one person or this one situation and playing it over and over and again, it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It just means that there's just different layers of like just stuff I'm hearing, just different layers of stuff and cords and attachment that are coming up to the surface. So the way to work through this is just to continue to release it over and over and over again, just like a continual washing, working with the elementals of water, just a continual washing of the field, a purging almost. It feels like a purging energy here. Just continue to release this over and over and over again as it comes up, and also, like, just hold space for yourself that you're human. And your mind might always go back to certain things at certain points, but that doesn't mean that you're not spiritually progressing at all, or that you're stuck. It's just part of the process, and part of the process is just this acceptance and this allowance, because I think sometimes when we get into the realm of spirituality, we can really focus on being evolved enough. So if we have come so far, we shouldn't still be holding on to certain things, but I think we need to give ourselves some slack, because we are human and we have emotions and we can have attachments. But I don't even feel like these energies that are coming up over and over, it doesn't even feel like it's an attachment. It feels like a lot of you have worked through this and have let this go. Like I said before, this really just feels like multi-dimensional, just different deeper levels of healing, and even some cellular stuff, cellular memory being held energetically in the field that we're just releasing. And some of these connections were karmic and past life. Healing is in here as well, so that's why it's also coming up over and over and over again. We just bear witness and we release and we release. I hope that makes sense, because that's the way that is being communicated to me, just about that, to just accept the fact that it's just going to come up over and over again for a while, and once we accept that and we release over and over and over again, it breaks the cord or the tether and allows it to release. Okay, so the next message that's coming up for current energies is the energy of anger, particularly related to ancestral anger. So around burdens, that's what's coming up for a lot of people, I feel. Ancestral anger, specifically around burdens. So feeling burdened by responsibility, family responsibility, if you're in a caretaking role, whether it's for children or elderly, just this resentment that's coming up. And I think, for some of you, it might be you're totally fine in this caretaking role. It takes a lot out of you. It can be exhausting, it can be tiring, or to be the one that has to check in with someone in the family all the time. But there's this underlying energy. If there's this underlying energy of resentment and you're not really sure where that's coming from, that's an ancestral burden from generations back of just having too much to do in the home. This feels really particularly related to like women and female roles within the home and expectations, and like generations back in terms of being like housewife role, even if like, I don't know, like teaching's coming up, like a teacher, but also running the house. Like there's just different, anybody that, and I think we all probably have this in our family lines of just women doing too much or taking on too much. And that's why in this timeline, or where you are now, you might be annoyed that you have to, drive somebody to appointments or you have to do things. But it might not be that big of a deal for you. But if all of a sudden you get this hit of anger or this resentment that comes up and it doesn't feel like yours, that's an ancestral thing that just needs to get cleared. So ways that you can clear that is you can work, like you can go out in nature. Love that sound. That's validation for me whenever there's a background noise for whatever is coming through. It's always a note that it's really important. So yeah, going out in nature, surrounding yourself by trees, allowing the trees, there's something with, so this is tree medicine, energy healing here, just going deep into the woods, placing your feet firmly on the ground, and you're going to interact with the trees and you're going to ask for permission to connect. And what actually happens, what they're showing me, is when we stand in the middle of the forest and we ask for an ancestral clearing with the trees and we place the feet firmly on the ground, is all of the root interconnected systems underneath the ground go up into the feet chakras, wind up through the legs all the way up to the crown and above the head, and they help to transmute. So they're going to pull away down through the feet. So they go up through the feet and then they pull back down through the feet, just pulling away anything ancestral that needs to get cleared. That's really cool. That just came through right now. I didn't even know that you could do that. But yeah, so that's one way that you can do ancestral clearing. You can also do it in a meditation with your guides. You can call your ancestors of the light, ask them to step forward and work with them in a guided meditation. It's really whatever resonates with you, or if there's another way that comes up for you. Mantras are really good, just saying you release anything ancestral that doesn't belong to you, and you send clearing and love and light all the way back down the family line, as far back as it needs to go. And as I'm talking, I have had some problems with my back as of lately, but as I'm talking, I can feel my back getting really tight. So this is an acknowledgement for me to talk about this in terms of back pain. Pain in the back, tightness in the back can be related to ancestral stuff. So you're carrying too much. There's too much of a burden on your shoulders. There's too much to do, and you're carrying other people's stuff. It might not even necessarily be yours directly. So that's something I definitely need to do, is I have to go in and do an ancestral clearing. I know I do. I've been getting nudges like, come on. I actually might go right into the woods and do that beautiful meditation about the trees and the roots. But the thing with that is it's important to ask permission to connect first and to state your intention, because we don't want to just walk into a forest without permission, connect with the roots without permission, and just ask or expect the tree medicine to work with us. We don't want to just dump all our stuff in the forest, right? We want to be respectful of the land. We want to be mindful. And tree medicine, trees are amazing communicators and listeners, and they have great healing energy, but they also need to be respected and treated with respect. So you don't want to just go in and dump all your garbage in the woods. You want to ask permission, and you want to ask the trees if they would be open to helping you clear some ancestral wounding through your feet chakras, and then intuitively just wait if it's a yes or a no. But most of the time I feel like as soon as you've asked that permission, you've established that energy connection and that respect, that they would be more than happy to connect with you and to help transmute that for you. And just another point I wrote is ancestral healing too. So generational patterns or beliefs coming to light, rifts between families like difference of opinions as well is coming up quite strongly. The rug being lifted on a lot of, I think, maybe family secrets or things that were taboo, or even like things such as someone's uncle or aunt or something was like adopted, but nobody ever knew or nobody talked about it. And like I'm being shown documents, so like just documents coming to light for like family and family history, like just this is like ancestral stuff that's coming up. I do think that since we're specifically talking about that, it does feel like there is a particular, I feel like there's somebody going to be watching this video that's really going to resonate with this, because it's so specific, but there is something about finding out somebody was adopted, and nobody talking about it. And the message for that, for you as a master healer, and as for you as watching this, is for you to transmute the guilt and the shame of that's come in down the family line. And it might not be you directly who was adopted. Like, this does very much feel like an uncle or an aunt, and like nobody knew that they were adopted. Everyone thought they were part of the family. But because you are an energy worker and a healer and intuitive, and you're watching this video, you felt called to watch this video, it's really important that your healing work is to help transmute the guilt or the shame. Now, we can't do that necessarily for someone else. There's an element of free will here, and we have to respect someone's journey, whether it's like that person's, the mother that put them up for adoption, the biological mother, or the stepmother has shame or guilt or embarrassment. Not the stepmother, sorry, the adoptive mom. If the adoptive mom has guilt or shame around the adoption or how it happened, like it feels like young. It feels like it was a young pregnancy. It could even be like somebody's was told it was their sister, but really it's their niece, like that kind of thing. Someone had a baby, like there just feels like shame and a cover-up. So the message is not that you have to transmute the shame for them directly, but for you to transmute the guilt and the shame just around that situation, to anchor in light and healing codes for that situation, and to bring healing just into the family line from an ancestral point of view. You can clear that, and then their stuff is still their stuff, and it's up to them to work through that for their highest good. And you can send them light and set intentions that hopefully they do in this lifetime, if that's in alignment for them. Okay. But yeah, it just feels like there might be a lot of family stuff just in general coming up for people. So just know that that's part of this collective. Like, I feel like there's just different pockets of time throughout the year where different things are happening or coming up for people, and there's just different themes. So one of the recurring energetic themes right now is ancestral clearing and ancestral healing and family stuff, just lots and lots of family stuff. And if something doesn't resonate for you, or if you're in a family dynamic, just message from Spirit dropping in here that it's okay to walk away from something, even if you're not blood related, or even if you are blood related, it's okay. If you have to cut contact with somebody because it's just not a healthy dynamic, although that might be hard, if that really feels in alignment for you and what you need to do, Spirit is sending you courage at this time to be able to do that. Okay, so I've turned the page. This is the next section of what Spirit would like to talk about. So Spirit is asking you, because we're always being asked by Spirit, or at least I am, of points of self-reflection, what we should be reflecting on. So Spirit asks, what parts of yourself are you still at odds with? And the reason that reflection is coming up around that area is the constant noise and clashing of opinions on the outside world. How can we stabilize it? And we're seeing this everywhere. We're seeing this playing out in the collective, with war and chaos and anger and strife, but we're also seeing it even down to like a micro level of like the comment section of social media or Instagram, people arguing and going back and forth. So a reminder from Spirit, by going within and making peace with all aspects of ourselves, that's how we can stabilize this energy, because we can't make people get along, and we can't go into comments and preach at people our beliefs or anything like that, because it's just going to fall on deaf ears. And we got to respect people for their opinions. I get that. That's important. But remember that the outer always reflects the inner. So if you're really wondering how you can help to stabilize this back and forth energy, doesn't necessarily mean you got to jump in the comment section and start arguing back and forth with someone to try to like change their way or try to bring in more peace. That's still bringing in that energy of back and forth, back and forth. Hopefully at some point humanity can get to a place where we can just agree to disagree with people and coexist. It's my inner light worker and hippie high vibrational self coming through, like, peace and love, man. Can't we all just get along? I know it's a lot deeper and more complex than that, but just a reminder from spirit that the outer always reflects the inner. So if you would like to do some light work around this back and forth, chaotic, clashing or fighting energy that we're seeing in our collective, the answer is to go in and make peace with all aspects of yourself. So then that circles back to that question from spirit of what parts of yourself are you still at odds with? What parts of yourself are you not accepting or hiding away? Is there any shadow work that you need to do? Any integration that you need to do? Just what parts of yourself are you still at odds with? So we can stabilize that, we can integrate that, we can heal that, and then it can emanate throughout. Okay, so also a message to continue to stay grounded, to take breaks from technology and meditate to amplify your fields. That's totally something I need to do more. The other day, actually, I had a reading, and it was one of the messages that was that I need to meditate more, and I actually was like, oh my God, I don't remember the last time that I sat down and meditated. So the message from that was to meditate, even if it's just 2 minutes a day, to just close your door. Like 2 minutes doesn't seem like it's long enough to have a benefit, but it actually is. If you can do longer, great. If you can do 5-10 minutes, that's great. But if your life is chaotic or you're sort of coming back into your spiritual side at the moment, it's a really good idea to just even start with 2 minutes a day, right? Like if you can scroll on your phone for 2 minutes, you can check emails for 2 minutes, you could put your phone down for 2 minutes and do some breathing. If you have a hard time meditating too, like a hard time focusing on the breath, you find your mind is wandering a lot, you can work with colors. So color therapy or color energy in terms of breathing in different colors. So you could breathe in, for example, this glass is a gorgeous turquoise or aqua color. You could breathe in turquoise light and breathe out gold. Breathe in through the nose, turquoise light. Breathe out gold. And like you're focusing on your breath, but you're focusing on the colors and seeing the colors. You can change it up. Breathe in pink, breathe out love, breathe in white light, breathe out the rainbow ray, whatever you feel called to do. But that's just another technique for meditation, just if you have a hard time kind of just really dropping in and focusing. Yeah, and taking breaks from technology. I think that's just solid advice all around, but especially because of how chaotic the outer can be, it's really good to unplug from this thing and just take breaks, or putting your phone on silent, not checking emails later at night, that kind of thing. Just having boundaries around your phone. I also feel like if you're gonna hang out with a friend, or you're gonna have someone, just putting that boundary like over, or you're gonna see someone, or you're gonna see your partner or whoever, just like, okay, I'm gonna put my phone on the counter, and like for 2 hours you and I are just gonna hang out and talk, or whatever you want to do. But just carving out pockets of time throughout your week where you are not on your phone. And if you have to have your phone on because you have kids, or you're a caretaker, or you're like, there could be an emergency, you need to be available at all times, that's fine. But don't put it on silent, but just keep it in the other room. Still have that intention of carving out pockets of time where you're not on technology, really, really important so that you are really anchored into your field, because a lot of us are like, our energy's here, and then you're on your phone for an hour and you're here and you're there, and the energy is just really spread really thin and sporadic. So we have to stabilize that. We have to call that back in, and part of that is spending time without the technology. I'm pointing to my phone because that's what I'm recording this on, but without the technology and anchoring in. Okay. Next thing that came through is the energy of courage. So the energy of courage, or the frequency of courage and bravery, is coming in at this time for a lot of people. So people are finally quitting that job, finally ending that relationship, finally moving. That's just a message that came through. It was courage is really coming through. So if that's something that you're doing, or you're working up the nerve to make a decision or a transition, to just connect with spirit and ask for them to send you the energy of courage. It's already there, it's already in your field, but just turn it on a little higher, turn your knob on a little higher in terms of frequency, so it's easier for you to connect. So be sure to clear any energy that you're moving on from. So selenite wand around the field, right? Like cord cutting, closing the door firmly when you are moving on from certain things or energy, people, places, situations, jobs, etc. No loose ends. So getting rid of things from them that you don't need anymore as well. Like if it's if it was like a relationship, just anything. If it's in your house and you feel like you should have got rid of it a long time ago, and it's just vibrationally not a match, then just get rid of it. You don't need it. There are certain times where maybe someone might have got us something, we're no longer in contact, but we might really like it, right? Like we might really like that painting that they got us, and you want to keep it in your home. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as the energy is cleared around it. So make sure you are either smudging it with sacred cleansing herbs like sage, Palo Santo, incense, or an energy spray, selenite wand too. Just make sure you're energetically clearing that object, just so you bring it back into neutrality and you just keep it in your home. Okay, the next topic that they want to touch on or talk about is spiritual teachers or healers that are not anchored into the light or have pure intentions. They're starting to be seen for who they are. So anyone can present themselves in a certain way, right? They can wear the nice clothes, the nice jewelry. This isn't just about healers. This could be for anything, but because I am a healer, I'm just kind of going to use that as an example, but feel free to apply this to anything. Anyone could, wear a nice suit and say they're a really good lawyer. That doesn't really mean they are. So say all the right things, have all the right spiritual tools, but it means nothing if they aren't in alignment with pure intention. So anybody can go out, using the example of a healer or an energy healer, anybody can go out and purchase singing bowls, tuning forks, healing instruments, crystals. They can take the certification courses in healing. They can do all that stuff. They can have the look. They can be well presented. But if this is not tidy in terms of their inner world, their inner self, their sense of self, all of this stuff means nothing. So how you are in your home with your family and other people, your friends, your partners, whatever, when nobody else is around, that's the true essence of your evolution, your vibration, your spirituality, and how you speak to and how you treat others when things are not going as you'd like them to, or when you're angry, unhappy, frustrated. That is the true spiritual work. Not showing up in a room with all of the instruments, all of the stuff, preaching love and light and acceptance. And then, if you were to go through their text messages or their emails, you see them spewing nastiness. So just having this just awareness just around appearances and around, but yeah, it just feels like there's a lot of spiritual teachers and healers that are who have not fully done the inner work, and they're not practicing what they're preaching. So always check in with yourself if someone feels an alignment for you in terms of a teacher or a healer. Oh wow, there's turkey vultures here. I wish you could have seen that. And as I was saying that, this beautiful turkey vulture just flew right over us. Thank you. I feel like turkey vulture medicine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, yeah, so always check in with yourself if someone feels an alignment for you in terms of a healer, teacher, or any other area in your life. But specifically, like, Spirit is really emphasizing that this stuff is really coming up in the spiritual community right now, of people presenting one way but being like a different way behind the scenes. And I wrote this too, and I think this is a really important point. If they aren't in the arena with you, learning, growing, and trying to better themselves, then ask yourself if this is someone you want to learn from or receive healing from. So how we treat others is everything. And remember, it's not that important of how someone looks. It's more important. I mean, it does a little. You want to, present well and have good hygiene and all those things, but it's really important. Like, I don't care how many freaking singing bowls you have. How do you treat people when nobody's around? And how do you treat people? Like, how are you in conflict? And how do you work through things? And nobody's perfect, and nobody is fully light 100% of the time, myself included. But, there's things I'm working on, and I don't always talk nice to people around me. Sometimes when I get really frustrated, or if I'm really tired, like, I might say something really short. So that's something for me to work on as well. So just be aware, like, if anyone's pretending that they are love and light all the time, that's not true. We're all learning, we're all evolving. We all have things that we need to work on. Yeah, just people who are real. And I think it's really beautiful that that's a message that came through, because when I was gonna film this video today, and I'm like, really? Like, I have this Grateful Dead sweater, and like, I don't even listen to the band. I think it was on sale once, and I just needed a sweater, so I grabbed it. But it's cool, and I like skulls, so whatever. But I was like, I don't have my usual, like, I've got some nice, like, flowy, like, scarf things and flowy pants, and I didn't bring any of that stuff with me because I didn't think I would be filming a video. But I think that's just so synchronistic, because this video is all about just realness. And one of the themes that came up that we were just talking about is somebody who dresses the part is not always the part. So it doesn't really matter what I'm wearing. It doesn't really matter how many singing bowls I have, how many clients I have, how much money I make. What matters is the work that I'm doing. And if I'm going to be in a position where I present myself to the community and I'm holding circles, I damn well better be in the trenches with everybody else trying to learn and grow and evolve. So that's just really important, to find people that are in alignment with you, and people that are, that you just feel are authentic and legitimate and are doing the work. So how we treat others is everything. So then another message is kindness and kinder. So more of this. So this goes to kindness and being kinder to other people, but also to ourselves. We're also being encouraged to reflect on times where we could have been kinder to ourselves. So although you can't change the past, this is a great message, I thought. Although you can't change the past, you can still send kindness to these past versions of yourself throughout your lifetime. You can even do past life healing if you feel called to, but you can send kindness to all of these past versions of yourself. So you can't change what happened. You can't change how you reacted or decisions that you made, but you can send yourself at those points in time, just like a prayer, sending light, sending love, sending kindness. And this ripples through the universe, and it brings healing and stabilization to your current self. This is like some trippy multi-dimensional timeline shit. Really cool. So it ripples out if you send those just beams of light or kindness to those past versions of yourself. It comes back to you, it integrates, it stabilizes, and it helps to just balance out your field for your current self, for this current version of you. So we are always evolving. We are never the same. Even the people that don't want to change, even the people that maybe it seems like they've never changed, everybody changes, even just a little bit, slowly over time. That's what I believe anyway. So two more messages from Spirit here. So second last message is more fun, joy, and silliness. So sometimes, yes, as humans, but even as spiritual beings, we can become too serious. And I'm definitely guilty of this, especially like if I'm in certain situations or certain phases of my life where I'm going through, like there's just a lot of stuff to do, really can get into work mode and very task oriented. But lighten up and play more. And for the people that are super spiritual, like still part of that is play, right? Bringing in that play, that balancing out. It's not always about being so focused on healing and improvement and and I learned this lesson, what's my next lesson, and this is coming up, it's a past life thing, I have to clear it, and then I have to do ancestral, and then I have to do this. You don't have to bring maybe there's some stuff that you need to heal or clear or work on, but spirituality is also fun. And spirit, just when you think about spirit, creator, and just even nature, Mother Gaia connecting to this, there's such an element of play and silliness and flow. So bringing balance to these different parts. So if you found you've been a little too uptight or too serious, focusing on your spiritual work or even just physical work or things that are not spiritual, bringing in, connecting back with old parts of yourself, even younger versions of yourself, if this feels aligned, that had more fun or were silly, and that sense of humor and jokes, just really connecting to your silly side and playing is going to help balance you out, and that's going to help stabilize your field even more. Coming back to that first point of kind of the high highs and the low lows right now, the field is balancing, but bringing in more play is definitely needed. Okay, and the last message that I want to talk about, so if you follow my Instagram page, I did have a story about this, I think a week or so ago. Body work. I want to talk about body work. So there's all kinds of healing modalities. There's energy healing, physical healing, mental healing, like therapy, like there's all different kinds. Not everything is, especially this is for my really spiritually oriented people. So if you've made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. If you tend to be more spiritual or more up in the upper chakras, not everything that happens is necessarily a spiritual fix, quote unquote. Not everything is, this is coming up for me. Is it a past life thing? Is it this? Is it that? And it very well could be, but leaning into different types or modalities of healing. An example, so I'll give you an example for me. So I talked about my back earlier. I've been having issues with my back or my feet. I had, there was a family situation that I had where I became the main caregiver for someone in December, just temporarily. It was a surgery. It's nothing crazy. It was just, it was a pretty serious surgery in terms of the the recovery time. The recovery time ended up being longer than we thought. Had to take extra time off work, that kind of thing. So because I found myself in this position where my usual responsibilities had increased like tenfold, after doing that for a few months, and I did have help from other family members, it wasn't just me, but it did end up being mostly me, really took a toll on my physical body to where I've always had a bit of a sore back. I've gone for massages occasionally, that's always just kind of been a thing. Like I said, definitely an energy thing, ancestral thing, to be cleared. There's a spiritual component to this. And although I do need to go in and do that, there's also a physical element to this where I needed to carve out time to go get massages or to go get reflexology on my feet and my arches. So it's like all of the stress in the body and the tight tissues and the tight muscles, they hold on, right? They hold on to stress. And if they don't have anywhere to move, like the body is gonna let you know when you need to slow down, whether you want to or not. And sometimes you're in a situation where you know you're doing too much, but you still have to do it anyway. You still have to get all these things done. You still have to go to appointments. You still have to do all this stuff. But as it started to lessen, and like, actually, before it started to lessen, I started to notice like, oh, and then I had to wear like an ankle brace, and then I had a back spasm, so I had to wear a back brace, and I had to go get like massages and reflexology, and really just started to take care of my body more. The reason why I'm giving you this example is because not everything's a spiritual fix. Sometimes you need a massage, or you need an adjustment, or sometimes you need to go to therapy, or you need to see a doctor, or there's just different healing modalities have different uses for different people on their journey. Not everything has to be past life related, or the archangels or this or that. That definitely has a place, and that's definitely incredibly helpful for people, but not everybody's open to come see an energy healer, right? But they're open to therapy, or they're open to massages, or they're open to whatever. And I think that's fantastic. Whatever healing modality works for you and whatever you're comfortable with. But I just wanted to touch on, sometimes as people, that if you're really into the spiritual stuff, sometimes we focus too much on that, and sometimes it's just we actually just need a massage, or we need body work. But we have to take care of our bodies and our vessels on a physical level as well as a spiritual level. So yeah, that's basically it. That's all of the messages that I have from Spirit. I'm gonna pull one card because I feel called to. I did bring 2 decks with me up here into the woods. So I do like this one, the Sacred Geometry Activations by Lon. So we're gonna ask just for one final card for people watching this video. Anything else that we need to know from Spirit, or any final messages? Okay. Oh, beautiful. So Synergy. Oh, wow. I think that's an amazing card for everything we just talked about. Just the synergy, the overall body, mind, spirit, right? Emotional, physical, mental, like that. It really just ties in beautifully to the beginning of the message. And when we were talking about body work, like healing is for the body, mind, and soul. So seeking out different body work or healing modalities that help with the body, mind, and soul. But I'm going to read this card. So the frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to reality. I just think this is beautiful. And there's so many different colors happening here. Like we've got the masculine colors, the feminine colors. We also have green for Gaia and Mother Earth. But I just see this as synergy. It's like kind of like 3 circles or 3 layers of color as body, mind, and soul. So make sure you're really taking care of your body, mind, and soul at this time. I did have one more card fall out, so I'm going to read it. Realization. So this is also beautiful, like fire, earth, and water elemental energy I'm getting from this. So the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I think those are 2 amazing cards to finish with. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please like it below. Send it to a friend that you might think might find it useful or helpful. thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me, having a coffee in the woods. Yeah, and I will catch you next time, whenever that is. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, your week, your month, whenever you're watching this. And I hope you carve out some time for you. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.